hospital will guide me. It's not a big deal. It's not 1974. We don't have to prepare for these things. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You do have to prepare for labor and delivery. You do have to prepare for the last couple weeks of pregnancy. Like, what was I thinking? Being so naive. Hey everyone, I'm Jen. I'm the Constant Crafter, and we are going off niche for another video because today we are talking about our pregnancy journeys. My son's pregnancy was very traumatic, very high risk, and we got to get right into that one. My daughter is quick as can be. A lot of similarities, but total opposites. I was doing Zumba at 29 weeks with her in my belly. So let's get to it. 34 weeks pregnant, he passed his non-stress test. And then one night, I remember having such bad Braxton Hicks that I immediately got water, started chugging, laying down, but they were so bad, I started timing them. And they were coming every 5 minutes. I remembered what the doctors had said to me, like between 5 to 7, call them. So I called and they were like, if they become any more frequent, you need to get in here. So I continued to time them, continued to drink, and they finally went away. Happy 35 weeks. We made it. Would love to get to 36 weeks, but I will take 35 because it was looking so scary. Just happy that I made the zone that they want you to get to. Everything was fine. It was having way more Braxton Hicks contractions. They weren't as timeable though, so I just kept drinking water. Water was my life. So during my 35th week, I went for an ultrasound and they said my baby was measuring, hold on, 7 pounds. They kept saying, if you take this baby to 40 weeks, which you're not, they kept saying, they're like, you're not going to make it to 40 weeks. But if you did, your baby would be like probably 10 or 11 pounds. Oh boy. At the same ultrasound, they told me he was 7 pounds. I was contracting again. They're like, guess what? And I'm like, no, give me the IV. I can't drink any more water. They almost had to give me an IV to stop labor again. It's just like kept happening. And then that weekend, we had a huge blizzard where I live. Dear Lord, can I not give birth in a blizzard, please? Then I was hoping also to make it another week so that I could go to my baby shower. I didn't want to be in the hospital having my baby on my baby shower, right? Wait until you hear about my daughter's pregnancy is like, done. Nothing. 36 weeks. I made it. Woo! 36 weeks, I found out that I was 2 centimeters dilated. And by the end of the week, I was 3 centimeters dilated. He passed his non-stress test 36 weeks and 7 days. The doctor told me that all things together, it looks like you're ready. I think we're going to induce you next week. Oh, we're talking about induction. Okay, wow. I'm only going to be pregnant for a little while longer. Yikes. And this is like super, super important. I went out and I was standing at the desk and then the doctor ran out next to me and she goes, Jen. And I'm like, oh, what? And she said, by the way, because of your polyhydramnios, she goes, we don't want your water breaking on its own. Okay. And she said, but if your water does break on your own, you have to pull down your pants and check for a cord. And she said, and if you see an umbilical cord, 911 immediately, okay? And I just remember turning white. Okay, so I'm not coming back here next week. I'm having a baby at some point, and I could have an umbilical cord rupture. Is that what you're saying? And what does that mean? How much time? On all these questions going through my head, I was like, I don't think that's good. And I didn't have the mental capacity after everything that we had been through to say like, why didn't you tell me this in the room, number one? And how much time do I have if that happens? Should I be camping out in the parking lot of the hospital? Why are you sending me home? So all these questions, I got mad. I got big mad. And I asked later on. So just let's put this on the table for now. I go to my ultrasound with the maternal fetal medicine doctor, and they have left the room for a long time. And I am sitting there wishing I had my phone with me because it was that long. I could have been sending emails. I could have been texting my husband to come sit with me, to leave his job and come here because I was white as a ghost and couldn't breathe. And when she finally came back and she's like, yeah, you have a buttload of fluid, which I already knew, but nice bedside manner. She's like, we're really concerned. All right. And she's like, yeah, so jelly, movement. Yeah, we're just really concerned. And I'm not even kidding you. She said it at least 4 times. Enough to make me panic. We have come so far. And so I was just like, what is happening? I'm trying to process. I don't know what to do. Like, should I stay? Should I call someone to come get me? No. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. Let's try not to cry the rest of the video. It was really hard. You know, we'll call you next week and we'll schedule your induction like the other lady said. I walked out like I always do to go check out. And I'm there to make another appointment because that's what I've been doing for all these weeks. And stupid me, who's like panicking, just walked the same pathway. And there was a chair in the corner, and I remember just like looking at it, and I like backed up and I sat down in the chair and was just like, and she was like, so they're going to induce you. You don't need another appointment. And I was like, right. And then I was like, I just need to sit for a minute. And then she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, because I don't know why I needed to like feel so strong. A couple hours later, when I got my mom on the phone, I just started screaming. And I was just like, why are they risking this? Why are they risking our baby? Why are they waiting? I feel like if I went to any other hospital, they would have been like, we're going to hold on to you. We're going to induce you in the next couple of days or something. Because I was just so high risk. And I was going into preterm labor, and they kept having to stop the labor. And I just don't get it. And it was so scary. The next day, my mom said, me and your sister-in-law are coming over. Our baby room wasn't even set up because I've been on bed rest and my husband's been working, and we're trying to make all the extra money that we can make before the baby comes. And so we had no nursery. We had crib and everything. We made it to the baby shower. We had the bassinet and everything, but our baby room was storage. We sat on the couch and they made me like hash out the entire story to them. And they were just like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. And then they were like, listen, we have to get that room cleaned up and cleaned out. And they're like, that's why we're here. We both took the day off. We have to get this done with you. And I was like, perfect. So I sat in a chair and they did it all. When I tell you, that was such a huge blessing. I just kept being like, we'll figure it out. We'll do it. We'll do it. Again, you don't have to be so strong. You can ask for help. You're not a superhero. It was that afternoon I got a call, and it was from the hospital, and I thought for sure they were giving me my induction date, or they were going to say, you need to come in. We looked at everything, we talked, and we really need you to be here, and we're going to take you in. And it was just a dream, because what they said to me was, the doctor is canceling your appointment today. Why? And he said he'll see you tomorrow. And I said, no, I need him to come back. I need to come in today, because I just sat and listened to the maternal fetal medicine doctor say over and over again how concerned she was because of my condition, because of my file, everything that I had been going through. And you're going to cancel my appointment for today, and you want me to come in tomorrow. And she said, okay, let me talk to the doctor and I'll call you back. And she called me back and she was like, hey, the doctor said that he will not see you today. He will see you tomorrow. Whoa, that is advocating for your baby. That is advocating for your pregnancy. It got me nowhere. But I mean, I tried. I would still do it from this day forward. My mom and Erin left. The next morning, my mom called me like bright and early. And I'm like, my mother, what is she calling me for? And she was like, hey, I'm on my way over. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, no worries. And I was like, well, there's nothing else to clean. Like, what? Why are you coming over? It was so weird. And she was like, I'll tell you when I get there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I called her back and I was like, tell me why you're coming. And she was like, sorry. She's like, I'm taking you for a second opinion. My mom and my sister-in-law talked the whole way home, and they said they are not happy with the care that I'm getting. And I wasn't either, but it's like, how do I abandon my entire team and everything that they've learned about me and everything that they have on file? If you're not comfortable, you do. And knowing then what I know now, I probably would have went somewhere else, but I was also freaking out that somewhere else would have said, we're inducing you today, we're not waiting. I just didn't know what to do. And it was my first one, and I had been through so much, and I was listening to the doctor's advices for this long. So I hung up the phone with my mom and I called two of my cousins. They both had babies. And I just was like, I have to ask you a question. It's like so hard. Is going on with me? Like, what would you do? I get it. None of them wanted to interfere with the trajectory of my birth experience. And so they were just like, I don't know what I would do because I'm afraid to give you the advice. Like, I don't know. So that was really hard too. And I'm like, just please give me up. Would you stay or would you go? Like, I need something. So my mom got there and I said, listen, I said, we are going into that doctor today. And I am making him sit with me. And I am asking him every question that I have. And I'm writing them down so I don't chicken out. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to pull my finger, not in his face because that's rude, but I'm going to point my finger at him so he knows I'm serious. And I'm advocating for myself and for my baby and my husband, and I'm advocating for everyone. And I looked at him and I said, you have brought me this far. Why are we risking this? And I asked all the hard questions. And after it was over, I looked at my mom and I said, do you feel better? And she said, yeah. I know he knows what he's doing, but it's hard for me to just like wait around if you can be getting better care somewhere else. I totally get it. Always my piece of advice is like research your hospital and know where you're going. And bottom line, I should have been at a high-risk hospital. I was not at a high-risk hospital. They had ties to a high-risk hospital, but they never pushed me over to them. Good hospital, trusting your care providers, number one. I don't care if you have already paid for your room, which you did. But we even called one of my cousins who works in maternity or something, and she was like, you can switch providers the morning of. Because I thought I was doing something wrong by switching providers. I mean, it's scary to think about, but thank you for being here. Next up is my daughter's pregnancy story, and we'll talk about the similarities and the differences.